So with our lovely Miss P, ready, Pepper. So we have a lot of fun noises going on in the building, just, usual madness with things being moved around. Ready, you want to do little find its? So I did take out a few novel items. Some of these things Miss P has seen in a previous class. My little one is also playing on her little play set off to the side, so it could be making a few noises. So with our lovely Miss P, remember we don't want to rush steps. So if, let's say, for example, she is intimidated or overwhelmed by something novel in the environment, we want to be careful that we're not either poisoning our food or a cue. So right now the neighbors are wiggling some pipes around. So every once in a while she's noticing those noises. So right now I'm just making it easy. We're just doing some simple find it's just on the flat floor. Remember, if she was nervous about one of these items, nice job, cuteness. Ready? Pepper. Yes. So if she was nervous about one of these items, I don't want to pair, for example, the novel item with food and lure her to it. So if, for example, she's just interested, as my little one decided she's going to be immensely noisy off in the distance, which I guess is a great distraction. So when it comes to novelty, be it novel items, novel environments, whatever it might be, if, for example, I were to pair, again, the food with the scary and then almost trap her getting closer to the thing, it could then start to ruin my ability to use food as a way to build confidence and comfort. So what I mean by that is, again, let's say, for example, Ebba, my lovey, that's too loud, okay? Let's say, for example, you were trying to get your babe to go into the restroom with you. So you could go ahead and try to start practicing bathing the pup in the bathroom. If, let's say, we lured her in with, let's say, for example, ready, Pepper? We'll do a little find it. So let's say we lured her into the bathroom with a nice big chunk of hot dog. She may now start to think the next time I go to lure her, it's going to be paired with the bathroom and going into the tub. So if, let's say, we were to start to pair, let's say, for example, food with that scary situation, it can start to be the food is the bringer of the bad, and it can start to create more anxiety. So right now, Miss P says she's just having a little bit of a harder time with all these novel noises. So we're just going to go ahead and earlier with her and her new little friend, that's her first day at Doggy Day School, little Miss Maple. She's a little cobber dog, and she, for example, did some beautiful hellos with our lovely lady through the fencing. So I've got like the X pen set up so the babes can do some little highs and get to know one another within their comfort range. And then as the days progress, we might do some little hellos and some practice with some social time. But I do like to start it off easy where it's not intimate instantly, but more highs through the fencing or highs through different little bubbles. So right now, Miss P is doing a great job checking out just the floor, doing some scavenger hunting. Two, allowing the pup to go at her rate with novelty is really beneficial. So ready, Pepper? Nice job. So we'll go into a nice little find it again. So the benefit of doing some of these little find its is she can just, again, at her leisure, meander through the bubble. And let's say she does a great job approaching something, I might mark that moment, but then feed away from the item. So if, let's say, she managed to come closer and check something out, as opposed to bringing her even closer by luring her with the food, I would go ahead and then feed her for when she approaches, but then toss the food away. So the reason I like to do the disengagement is that helping her feel more comfortable. She enjoys the food, but then she also enjoys creating that distance, which makes her feel safe again. So it's kind of one of those double whammies. So that's where I like the find its, and I like the ability for your babes when they're feeling a little unsure to have movement behaviors can be immensely beneficial. Ready? Pepper. So, and I know she's got, I think, a cot at home too. If, for example, she feels cozy to try something, awesome. If when her first little experience is more meandering, so I know we did this last time in class where we had some random items out and we started to build up the pup's ability, ready, Pepper, to go near and around the items. So sometimes it was just going and doing some find its in the snuffle mats. Sometimes it was using find its on the floor. But it could also turn into when she goes and checks out something, you might mark it and again feed for moving away from it. So I know my little one is making a lot of noise. Hey, Hippo, my lovey, can you be a little bit more calm? Ready? I know she's being, I don't know if she's a dragon or a frog or something today. Ready? Pepper. You're a dragon. Okay. Nice. So again, if let's say Miss P is not as thrilled with the funny noises in the building and the novelty on the ground, what I sometimes like to do is then pair a little bit of something novel with something fun. So if let's say she's a little bit uncertain, I might be the one wiggling and maybe touching some of the items, but then have it be where maybe the play could be another potential. So again, she was doing some gorgeous play earlier, but I think there's just a couple too many noises going on right now. So that's okay. We can always too rotate and see what motivates her at the moment. So right here, yes. Nice job, Miss P. So maybe what we'll warm up with is a little bit with some wiggling. Nice, good job. So do a little bit of loose leash walking. And then as she's getting comfortable, maybe we meander through the items. There's just a big truck passing by. We had the train go by earlier. Nice job, cuteness. And we had some of the noises in the building, right? So if, again, she is struggling with some of these novel moments, I'm not saying that everybody's babe should be on a supplement or a medication, but remember that even if at home there are certain things that are very challenging for her and she's really having a hard time, there are some awesome calming supplements out there that are not medication. They're just, again, herbal, or again, some of them are, again, made by veterinarians. So one of them is Composure. For some of my students, that has worked really nice when pairing that with what you're trying to work on slowly. This doesn't mean you plop the babe onto a product and then magically go do the things that she's really struggling with. Ready? Oh, she's going to go check out the funny toys. Good job, cuteness. Ready? Pepperoo. So we'll go right into a little find it right there. So, but if let's say she is having a harder time, and let's say the world is always like, again, level 5 and above, but she can really tolerate 3 and below, we may find there's another brand. I can't remember the exact name, but I can get it to you. It's a CBD sort of chew for pups. Ready? Pepper? Nice job. Good check-in. So the CBD chews can be another great way to kind of take the edge off while still trying to build up some comfort. This, again, doesn't mean flooding. So I'm not saying, okay, my dog is scared of these new things or new noises. We're going to play, monster truck noises and give her a CBD chew and then she'll be perfect. It's going to be a little bit of, again, counter conditioning. So you would then sometimes give the supplement, and then that would maybe create a window for your puppy to feel a little bit safer. So then their ability to change and learn new skills can be acquired. Because if, again, level 5 is where we're at for the world for distraction and comfort range, we want to try to get her feeling comfortable where, again, she then goes up to maybe, again, 4 to 5 for her own comfort range and can work through those dynamics. So again, we might go, ready? Pepperoo. Nice job. So these are some beautiful little check-ins. I might go and try to sort of show her the item. Good job. And she could go do a little go sniff. Yes. Nice. If she wants to offer a beautiful little sit, any position really that can help sort of get my lovely lady to feel a little bit cozy. I dropped a piece of chicken. There you go. Nice. So we might even try a little bit. I don't know if she'd rock it, but we could try a little bit with some more find its through this little section. Good job. If she was ever a little too intimidated, again, don't rush the steps, but I would go ahead and let's say I'm hanging out on this paper. If she comes closer to me or the item, I might go again, yes, and then feed for moving away. But there is a truck moving in the building too. So I feel like there's a couple good distractions going on for Miss P. So maybe what we'll do is we'll take a little breather from some of this and we'll try again in a moment and see if we can build in some nice dynamics for her. But really, the morning was much calmer. And of course, now that we're trying to film, there's a lot more chaos. So, but Miss P is doing a very nice job with some of this novelty. So we'll just give her a little breather, do a few other skills, and get back to it later.